I'm Robert.
And I'm David.
We're the Seven Brothers, and this is Trust No One, Drink Everything.
That's what we do. This is a channel where we like to talk about conspiracy theories that are different every single week.
While we're drinking beers.
Yep.
Just to get a new taste in here and flavor, and it's always something new. So we kind of give a little shout out to all the rest of the breweries out there.
That's right. Today, we're talking about historical alterations. But first, let's get to that pour.
All right, guys. So this first one we're drinking today comes from a brewery called Rar Brewing. Rar. It's in collaboration with, I think, Tripping Animals on this one. Either way, this brewery is over in Cambridge, Maryland. It's part of their series for Out of Order. This one's called Surprise, Mother Puppers.
Wait, Mother Puppers?
Yeah.
Pup, like a puppy.
Yeah, like puppy.
That Surprise,
like
Mother Puppers.
Well, that's part of their whole Out of Order series. They normally have the dog on there.
All right.
Okay, so this one actually is going to be a pastry sour. It's got guava, pastry cream, vanilla ice cream, and cheesecake in it.
What?
Yeah. So
it looks like there's a little stuff floating in there.
It's this thing is a 5%er.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. So let's get into this.
It just, you could smell the cream and cheesecake.
That's cheesecake in there. You definitely taste.
I mean, it's floating in there.
Oh my God!
I've never seen anything like it. All right. Historical alterations. It literally means like it sounds. It means like
We're
altering history. Yeah.
So it's not. They're kind of like changing what the actual history was.
Yeah, so I got a few different things. Okay, so I've got a couple hypotheses of different things and different things are going on. And then I've got like real evidence of what they say people did to alter history. So I'm just gonna get right into it. So basically it's general refers to theories claiming that official historical records have been intentionally manipulated or fabricated. These theories vary from claims of missing centuries to erasing of entire civilizations. So we're gonna unpack this because we could do a video on every single one of these individually, but we're gonna kind of break these down a little bit in order here. So in no particular order. Okay. So first one is the phantom time hypothesis. Okay, this is a theory that claims that the years AD 614 to 911 were fabricated by Holy Roman Emperor Otto III and Pope Sylvester II to place them in the year 1000. Proponents suggest so basically it never existed and that we're actually living in the 1700s. So meaning that they specifically erased those dates because they wanted it to be the year 1000. That's a theory. Okay. So really we're actually living in the 1700s and it's not 2026. It's not. Thoughts?
Once again, a bullshit. Yeah, I don't know, because you got to think about it. Unless somebody erased memory, changed things, moved it, but we lived through it. So coming for the last 46 years of my life, I mean, obviously you can see progression. And if we do have time, and we have family in our past, right? So even our relatives are going through there.
But you're talking. This is over 1,000 years ago. So you're talking. So think how many generations. That's over 10 generations of families, and people lived shorter back in the day. So this is probably 15 to 20 generations of families were moved from. So, and think about. I'm just saying
that's rigging our our history, like documentation of everything that we've gone through. So, centuries of all this documentation. You're saying that was like a blip, and we just changed it.
I'm just again. This is the hypothesis says that they've tracked it down to the Holy Roman Emperor Otto III and Pope Sylvester II. So which were they were because this is the Roman Empire, and the Pope, the two most powerful people of the time, said this is really what it is, and blah blah blah, and they just erased
200 years.
They erased almost 300 years. So that's why I said so we'd actually be living in the 1700s, not in the in 2026. You know what I mean? So it's they erased like so we'd be living
in the 1700s.
In the 1700s right now. Yeah, it'd be like 300-year difference. So we're actually living in the 1700s.
Man, I'm old then.
No, you don't exist yet.
I'm old.
You weren't born yet, bro. Your birthday's in the future. We're living in the past.
Whoa.
All right. So that's the phantom time hypothesis. Okay. So we'll just keep it moving. We're gonna go through each one of these, and again, we could dive into these, and I could have brought up more facts about these, but I just wanted the generalized statement. Okay. Right. So the next one is called the new chronology. Yeah, chronology. A Russian mathematician. I don't even know how to say his name. Argues that ancient history is much shorter than traditionally believed. He claims most events of antiquities, like the antiquities, actually occurred in the Middle Ages, and that world history prior to 1600s was falsified to hide a global empire called the Russian Horde. Go figure, he's from Russia.
Yeah, right.
So the Russian Horde existed.
It did. It did exist.
So it was they falsified because they wanted to hide the fact that Russia had the Russian Horde.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't have words on this one right now.
Okay.
You're throwing some at me, but Russian hordes, yeah.
Yeah, Russian hordes. Saying so. World history prior to 1600 was falsified to hide the global empire. So which means they had to exist. But wait a second. If the first one's true, that means that this was only hidden 100 years ago. Because we're in the 1700s.
Yeah.
So in the 1600s, so this only happened 100 years ago.
So essentially,
if the first one was true.
If the first one was true.
Yes, if the first one was true.
I'm still trying to grasp over where do you, for all the documents, even from the 1700s, because we got stuff going all the way back into the so that means that people would have had to falsify documents for 300 years. That, you know what I mean? You just made shit up for 300 years that, like, didn't actually happen. So, basically, everybody wrote some fictional crap that it's sci-fi. So, all the books, like, pictures, all the stuff that was going through there, and, you know, timelines for whether it was clothing to whatever you mean, paintings to, like, all this stuff just didn't exist.
That's what they're saying. And again, I'm going to get to some of the proofs of this potentially being a real thing.
Proof.
They're saying there's proof of it.
I can't wait.
But not of these ones specifically, but proof of other things to say that if these happened, could these other things happen? Does that make sense? You follow me? Like, so it's like one of those, like, you know, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Or cheesecake.
Yeah, and the cheesecake.
And the cheesecake.
This is thick.
It is thick. It's like drinking milk over here.
Kinda. It's good though.
So, all right. The next one is the Solarian hypothesis. Okay.
All right.
So, well, more of a scientific thought experiment than a conspiracy theory on this one. Okay. This theory asks if an industrial civilization existed millions of years before humans, like, example, during the age of the dinosaurs, would we even be able to find geographical evidence of them today? So if there was people here that were so advanced before the dinosaurs, would we even know about it? So how can it's like saying, if are we alone in space? There's so many planets out there and so many different solar systems. So it's almost impossible to not be alone, right? So then, are we naive enough to think that maybe we've been here longer than the dinosaurs, and we just can't find proof of it because, we don't have a way to find evidence of it? But who says we weren't?
Well, put it this way.
Okay.
Because the same as us digging up the dinosaurs.
Could you imagine living with, dinosaurs, bro?
It's the dragons. You know what I mean? Well, think about it. There
was dragons in the Bible.
Well, now, mind you, this is the only reason I have to say on that. Because, when they talk about, the dragons, you know what? Those were dinosaurs. I don't believe they breathe fire or whatnot, but some of the dinosaurs that still lived after the, ground zero for them where it wiped everything out, right? So we went back to, year one. Think about it. Any of the dinosaurs that actually lived,
I'm just saying,
those were dragons.
I'm just saying. So, but they say dinosaurs were extinct over 1 million years ago. So the point is if that's the case, weren't we here 1 million years ago?
Nah, see, okay, but think about it. They're digging up bones for those, right?
Yep.
How have we not dug up bones from humans then, from 1 million years ago?
I don't know how decomposing works, but
you're saying because those bones were bigger that they
correct.
Lasted
it takes
longer
correct. It's more of a substance, but more of a mass. So,
yeah, but they still have the full bones to even their teeth, and some of our femur bones amongst shit's bigger than some of the bones on them. They're still digging them up.
Or maybe
you catch what I'm saying?
I do, but maybe our bones aren't the same bones as what they have. Maybe there's different materials within their bones, that make them last longer or fossilize them differently, or because there was a catastrophic event or whatever. Maybe there's again. I'm not a scientific expert here, but I'm saying maybe there's something to do with theirs that makes them last and ours don't.
How old was that caveman that they dug up? Remember they found the
Encino
Man? The Iceman.
Encino Man?
Kind of, yeah. They made that comedy out of it. Remember how they dug up the actual
Wait, that was based
Iceman?
on a true story?
Well,
no, get out of here.
They found the caveman in ice. Remember the frozen man that was perfectly preserved?
Did they find him with a mammoth?
No. But no, it's on display somewhere. But they actually did find some years back. They found a
Wait a second. Wait. There's a perfectly preserved caveman in ice somewhere you can go see.
Well, not still in ice, but obviously it was thawed and whatever. Google it. Bring that up on something.
Okay.
It was literally there was an Iceman that they found that was perfectly preserved in ice that died and froze there, and it was literally froze over. It dug it up.
I'm just saying that's crazy to me. That blows my mind right there because I don't know that.
Perfectly preserved in ice. And it's on display. It's mummified now, so it's one of those things. But it was
so they unfroze him and then they mummified him.
Well,
they wrapped him in toilet paper.
Well, not like that. But you see what I'm saying? Almost like a taxidermy type thing or whatever.
Taxidermy, no. My wife keeps telling me that's what she wants to do with me when I die. She's going to taxidermy me and just drag me around. Just saying.
In a way, I could actually see that.
Thanks, dear. I appreciate that.
I actually could kind of see that. So.
She's going to keep me in the corner next to the dog because she wants to taxidermy the dog too, and we'll just let's be over there somewhere.
Sweetheart.
So you can come over and visit my taxidermied ass.
I will. I'm still walking in. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? Yeah, how's it going?
Giving you dap and shit.
You gonna dap me up?
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, cool. So this next one, I could go on an entire episode and talk about this next one, but we're gonna just dabble into it today because it goes with all of this.
All right.
And I wish I had my man Ironbeard here. Shout out to Ironbeard because he would get into this one big time, and I'm sure he's gonna list something.
All right.
But here we go. The Tartarian Empire. Do you even know what the Tartarian Empire is? I have a feeling you don't.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, my man does. He knows.
All right.
So this is a conspiracy theory suggesting that that it was a technological advanced global civilization that was erased from history, the Tartarian Empire. Okay? So how do we know that? What happened? Okay, so here's how we have evidence that it existed, they say. Believers point to a mud flood evidence, which basically buildings with buried first floors and claims that world wars were used to destroy Tartarian architecture. They claim modern history was invented to hide this event and the advanced technology that preceded it. So you ever see pictures? This is the easiest way I can explain what the Tartarian people think. Okay. So you ever see pictures of like super old buildings where we don't even have industrial age, so it's like horse and buggies, and they're standing next to like this massive structure that's like all made of like marble, and like it weighs like tons and stuff, and they're like, okay, we built this enormous ridiculous structure with horse and buggy. So people can't accept that, so they say we found the buildings. So when we came here, those buildings actually existed prior to us being here, and it was an advanced civilization that like kind of died off. And so because a lot of the way they point to this is because a lot of those government buildings or whatever, like those huge marble structures of some of these government buildings, the first floor of these buildings is completely underground, like it's buried in the mud. So saying that that's evidence they've been there way longer than we think they've been there, and we didn't build them, we found them.
I'm sorry, but those were just basements.
Basements. So
you can't tell me they didn't know how to make basements back then?
I'm just saying we might have to do an episode on Tartaria.
Okay.
So the Tartarian Empire is it's a thing.
It's thrown out there, but now you're going to make me look into this.
I'm telling you. So they're saying this isn't is a civilization that existed at one point in time, and they were way more advanced than we would give any civilization prior to us, because we are very. There's this thing with people that, it happens a lot when you're a kid, and you're like a teenager, and you're going into adulthood, and you think that you know more than the people before you. And so
don't become your parents.
See, so every generation thinks that they knew more than the generation before them. That's just the way it goes. And because technology advances and things happen,
you get smart. You learn from their stuff.
You try,
stuff,
yeah.
It makes you know more about it.
Correct. You should know more
because we become more advanced in what they were.
Correct.
What they knew and more.
So we just assume.
I like that term. I always like to use the word assume.
We just assume that this is the most advanced we've ever been. So, and that's that. So what if there was a cataclysmic thing that happened, and my favorite part of this whole we think we're more advanced, and this one really bothers me. All of our information we have today, right? Mm-hmm. Remember, we're the advanced civilization.
We are technically supposed to be a top.
We're the top dogs, right? Then how come we build with materials that are going to decompose and be broken down, and if I stop living in this house we're in right now, and we never took care of it, in a few hundred years this thing would be it'd be nothing. It would be nothing.
Disintegrated, yeah.
Okay? So, but yet back in the day we built structures like Stonehenge and the pyramids that still exist. So my point is okay, wait, hold on. So first off, we just assume. So, but the second part, what I'm going to say is this: all of our technology and all of our information we have is either stored where? On a computer. So if there's no energy, do we even have access to it? No. Okay. Or it's written in paper.
Books.
It's put in books. In books, if it floods and they get wet, they get destroyed.
Well, they don't even do books anymore.
Yeah.
Half the stuff is on computers.
That's so it's either.
Even if the computers went down, books only go so far because nobody writes anything anymore.
But back in the day, they were smart enough that they etched them into stones because they knew they would last forever. What do we etch in stone like nowadays that's like super important?
Monuments.
But you get what I'm saying? Like there's not like I'm just saying, like that's crazy. So we're the advanced ones, but if we were to all if an asteroid hit the Earth like it did with the dinosaurs, like they say, and everybody was wiped out today, in 1,000 years from now, what are they going to know more about? Are they going to know more about the stuff we already know about, like pants, or are they going to know about us from today?
No.
Like it's like we're gone.
But think about it though.
Okay.
So what you're getting into is like, why don't we do it? and you already know why we don't do it, is greed. Cheaper, faster. You build, it's money. Because, like, if you were to actually try and cut out stones, move them, what it cost of actually moving stuff around, and for you to build everything, obviously you're making homes cheaper and faster by just cutting it this way.
And
for you
listen,
to move
and I get
blocks
that.
of stone,
and I get that. And I get that. I'm just saying, like, it just always doesn't sit right with me that we just assume we're the smartest that's ever been here. And that's just not the truth. You know, the easiest way I can explain it is this in my head. Nikola Tesla and, like, all these inventors that invented.
Mm-hmm.
I just think of Tesla because he's got so many different things under his belt.
And he got screwed.
Like, that's a whole other thing. We could maybe do a video on him someday. But
yeah.
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, how he knew all these things and he was studying all these different things, and that was how many years ago?
Yeah, a long time ago.
And do you think a lot of things only exist today because of somebody like him?
No. I mean, there's lots of people out there. You got to imagine how many ideas were shut down.
I'm just saying, where are people like him today? And why don't we hear about those people inventing and making new things? So if we're so advanced, and I get technology only catches up so much, but
that's like even when do they still do the World's Fair?
I think so. I don't know.
Because you'd always hear stuff like growing up as a kid. And I'd
Yeah,
never been in
like
there. I remember
like the new thing.
It was like the new stuff. Everybody went there. The greatest, newest technologies. Everything.
Yeah.
Everybody showed everything at the World's Fair. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It was like the newest stuff coming out. And like, hell, it just shows you how out of it I am. I don't even know if they still do the World's Fair.
They might. I don't know.
Truth be told, I don't even know. But like, that's where everybody came to see the newest and wildest, and most interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And I got to imagine, even for that stuff, there was probably tons of ideas and projects that were shut down, disappeared from even that stuff. So you got to imagine for like years progressing that like people laughed at other people. Like, what if we did this and they had something and you still got laughed at? That were like, so it disappeared. But they invented that years ago, and just nobody ever did anything with it.
I get it. So, yeah. All right, we're like way off topic now, and I'm okay with that.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. We kind of went off on a rant there, and that's okay. It's okay. Because we're going to reel it back in, and we're going back to the subject. But before we do that, let's get to that next pour.
All right, guys. This next one here is from Trillium Brewing, actually out of, Canton, Massachusetts, or I think they have two locations. The other one's in Boston, Massachusetts. Either way, this is called Expressway. It's an IPA, comes in at a 7.2 ABV on here. I do like my IPAs. I know you're typically not into those. And
We'll see what I get on this one.
yeah, this is just a basic IPA. Don't ask me what the hops are in. I didn't research into that one, so I didn't catch the hops on it. So either way,
Okay.
two IPAs. Hope you didn't.
IPAs.
I know you're not a huge fan on it, but
IP. Is that what it stands for? IP.
it's IP. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, where are we at?
So we're bringing it back in.
All right.
So we're talking about historical alterations, okay? So the next one I have on the list for historical alterations is the Julian to Gregorian transition, okay? So this one's kind of like one of those ones that's I'm pretty sure is true.
All right.
Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Go research this. I didn't do a crap ton of research on this one, but this one it caught my eye. The Julian to Gregorian transition. You know what the Gregorian is? The Gregorian calendar. That's the calendar we use today.
Yes.
So before that, we used the Julian calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So when the Western world switched calendars, chunks of time literally disappeared from the record. For example, in 1582, people in many countries went to sleep on October 4th and woke up on October 15th. Poof, it was just gone because the calendar switched the dates. This shift often creates confusion and problems with historical dating because if you just erased 11 days,
how often has that happened?
Yeah, like so it's like, so that's, and they're saying that's what happened when we switched calendars. Like people went to bed on the 4th and woke up on the 15th. Like that's crazy. Although
I did that one time on a drunken stupor. I went to sleep on I think it was like the 2nd or something. Woke up on the 8th. All
right, so I didn't even know. Did you even know this was a thing? I didn't know this. Okay, shout out to my man Mon. Mon, if you're out there, if you ever watch this, you ever see this, I'm giving you a shout out, my man. So there's a guy that worked for me a while back. His name was Mon. Mon, he was from India or somewhere over there by India. He grew up there. Mm-hmm. And I remember, I have no idea how this came up. I think we were talking about, we always talk about random stuff like RRR, because that movie was like
ridiculous.
So he used to tell me other movies like that, and he was a great guy. Miss you, Mon, by the way. He's a good dude. Mon would tell me when he was going on vacation to go visit back his home, they use a completely different calendar in their country than we use here. Which it never hit me until he said that I never realized that goes on. So it's super weird to me. So for instance, I can't remember if it was before us or after us, but I think it was after us. Like I think their calendar is so different that when you go to where he's from, the year is like 2032. It literally on their calendar.
So they're further than
so
we are.
so I say because I used to make a joke about it. The only reason I remember this because I used to joke about this. I was like, so you're traveling to the future. Like I used to say that. I was like, so do you use a time machine to get home? Because like you're going to the future. Like how does that? So every country has their own calendar.
You travel to the future and then come back to the past.
That's what I'm saying. It's like he's like Marty McFly, bro. It's Marty McFly in it. I'm just saying. It never hit me. Like I'm so closed in, as an American citizen that I haven't traveled the world, and I didn't even realize that different countries use different calendars than us because I'm so, stupid when it comes to like that kind of stuff that I didn't even realize that that's a thing.
Truthfully, I wouldn't either. So that'd be like
I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even have gathered.
I just assume the whole world uses. I just assume the whole world uses the same calendars, but no, that's not what happens. So every different country could be using different types of calendars, and that blew my mind when I heard him say that. I was like, really? It sat with me for like a couple days, and I was like, that's a thing? Like it blew my mind.
Well, that was the same as like even you got to imagine time change. Mm-hmm. So. I lived in Arizona, obviously you know that, and it's one of the few states that has no time change. So there's no hour forward, hour, you know what I'm saying, spring forward, fall
daylight
back.
savings.
Yeah, that's but you get what I'm saying.
They don't need to save daylight in there.
Yeah. So, but like it was the only state that like I lived there, and it was weird to never. So half the year when I'd call you back up this way, like I'd have to remember what time it is because like you guys would change, and it wouldn't when I was living in Arizona. So I would never remember what time it would be like for going through this, or what time of the year it was. So
it was
in
definitely
a way, it's
different, yeah.
So with living in Arizona, time never changed. But moving back, it's kind of weird. Like half the year you're at such, half the year so for like daylight savings, and I just So, but a calendar.
Yeah, that's
a
whole nother ball game.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
That's what I'm saying. It blew my mind when I found that out. That's crazy. So my point is that's a thing. So if they can just say, we're using this calendar, and they're like, we're using this calendar. So my point is like, so when we document stuff in our calendar, and we say that happened this year in somebody else's country, they're saying it happened in a different year because they're using a different calendar. Like, that's crazy. So how do you really keep that straight? Because Because both sides could say different years, but both sides are correct.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying here? Like,
because you can't prove it's wrong just because of what we were brought up and what we live by, and then they're growing up and live by
that's
yours.
what I'm
that's
saying.
not changing.
Like, so,
it's your culture.
Both sides are true.
Yes. That was a huge pop.
It was
huge
crazy.
Pop.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get back. So with that one being said, so I just wanted to get into the calendar thing real quick. So the next one is the Dark Ages label. That's the next one.
All right.
Okay? Many historians now argue that the term Dark Ages was itself a form of historical alteration by Renaissance scholars. By labeling the period as dark and ignorant, they sought to make their own era look like a rebirth of light. Despite significant progress in the Islamic world and parts of Europe during that time. So they're saying that Renaissance scholars created the label Dark Ages because they wanted the Renaissance to seem like it was a better era. So they just called it the Dark Ages to make it seem like it was a crap time, so things would be better during the Renaissance period. It's a thing. That's what they say. It's the scholars.
That's the thing.
They're smarter than me.
Well, obviously they're scholars.
Yeah, they're scholars.
They would know.
If they have a label, they're
Scholars.
smarter than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got a label, yeah, we're beneath them.
Correct. Yes.
We're the all unknowing.
All right. So I'm gonna close it out in saying this.
All right.
I got 3 quick points of documented historical revisionism that is non-conspiracy. This is documented proof of historical revisionism.
That hasn't been altered.
No, yeah, this is non-conspiracy. This is true. This is saying this stuff happened.
But it hasn't been altered.
Proof.
That hasn't been altered.
Proof.
I'm just saying, how do you know that they didn't alter that?
Listen, unlike
This
pseudoscientific...
this topic is on here, altering history, right?
So those are...
like, how do you know that they did not alter that to make you think that that's because that's what the proof is?
These next ones are verified instances of political powers
Who verified
altering records for propaganda.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm all ear.
Soviet Union. Under Stalin, under Joseph Stalin, the USSR famously used photo doctoring to remove enemies of the people from official images and textbooks. So they went in and so they took people out of textbooks that were originally there. So and they're called enemies of the state. So people Stalin didn't like or didn't want people to remember went in, got rid of all the books that had pictures and their names in them, and left the rest of the book alone. So like they literally went in and altered photos. They erased them from history.
From theirs. So while we know about them, they don't know about them and think we're just making shit up.
I guess maybe.
So in a way, you think about it though. If somebody erased it,
they're
you were brought
altering
up with that. Yes.
History.
For them. So the rest of us that like somebody else that knew about it, think about it. Like we'd be talking about, and they think we just made crap up. Oh, we just put it in our books. And then like just because Russia was trying to remove it.
Soviet Union. This is before Russia.
I'm sorry, Soviet Union.
That's right.
Under Stalin. So, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like when we talk about books and stuff like that, like think about like the Library of Alexandria when it burned. Okay, how many textbooks or how many manuscripts and books were in there that were destroyed? So then you don't think people at some point took advantage of that and just kind of like warped whatever they wanted to and saying, "Oh, this is what it is," and like there's no proof of evidence prior to that. So it's like, and if it's a scholar or somebody that's in power, they have an opportunity to rewrite history at that moment, and now that's just what it is because they're the person in power and they can do whatever they want. You don't think that happens in different instances of things like that? I'm just saying. Okay, so the next one. We're going to go right along to the next one.
All right.
The lost cause narrative. Following the American Civil War, some Southern organizations successfully influenced school texts to downplay the role of slavery and paint the Confederacy in a more favorable light. So the South that was like pro-slavery was like, man, we lost. So we don't want people in the future to think that we were bad people. So we're not going to have them really tell the true story of what really went on. So we're going to influence these textbooks to not paint us in such a bad picture, since we all want to get together now and be nice.
Is this why they don't play the Dukes of Hazzard anymore?
Get out of here. So I'm just saying, but like, you don't think that happened?
No, I believe it.
That happened. That's documented.
Like
yeah. Like, that's crazy. So my point is so if every textbook wrote them in a certain light and didn't talk about really bad things that happened, nobody ever knew it, and it was never taught, and so we actually never knew what really happened.
Well, think about it.
Think about that. You get what I'm saying, right?
Even when they changed our textbooks for when Columbus discovered America.
Indigenous People Day.
Yeah. So when he landed in America, it's like, not just America.
So,
but history's been being changed and altered. It's like, think about it, all your old textbooks, for like even how we talk about Pluto, the planets, right?
Is it a planet? How? So I could probably, if I could go. Wait, no, that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is,
say all the other books in the future got destroyed and somebody pulled it up. Pluto would still be a planet, right?
But is it? No, because I don't even know. Somebody tell me, is Pluto a planet at this point? Because it was a planet, then it wasn't. Then it was again, but then it wasn't. But then it was again. So I don't even know if Pluto is considered a planet at this point.
It's changed out of it. That like, that's what I mean. Some of our old textbooks, and like, think about it.
What was that movie?
Was destroyed.
Maybe so. Kind of. Yeah.
I should buy a boat.
What movie is that from? Maybe. Yes.
Corky Romano.
Yes, love that movie. That's what it was. Corky Romano.
Yep.
No,
that's where him and the canine dog blow up a bag of Coke. And
they're all.
He's like
yeah.
Stephanie's trying to do the talk with the little kids.
Yep.
And he's like, question? No, maybe kind of, sort of. Does it? I should buy a boat. Like, the whole scene was awesome.
That's my point. Is Pluto a planet? Please tell me. I don't even know at this point. I could probably look it up, but it's more fun if you tell me, and you can tell me I'm an idiot.
That's what I mean, though. It's like they keep changing it, but like, think about it. Years from down the road, for all the stuff that's actually changed in our lives, that they've actually changed, created, like put it into a book, and even erased even out of our books and altered it.
Yeah.
So we haven't destroyed any of our old textbooks.
No.
So if somehow fires, like crap happened, and the only surviving books were old history books, right?
Yep.
Something from the 80s.
80s.
Where Columbus still discovered America.
Yep.
It's not indigenous. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what I'm saying is a whole bunch of stuff is still going to exist where it keeps changing and changing. So, like, but if it was to read it, and you would believe that's what the history was, because they hadn't altered and changed.
Okay, so hold on. My favorite is again, two things can be true. You can't discover something if there's already people here.
Correct.
Okay? There's already people here.
They just took our land.
Well, hold on. That's a whole other thing. But my point is you can't discover something if it already has people here.
Correct.
That statement can be true.
Yes.
But you know what other statement can be true?
What's that?
He came from Europe overseas, and they didn't know this land was here. So to them, they discovered new land. That's also true.
Yes.
They discovered new land. So both statements could be true.
Well,
he discovered land that they didn't know existed. That's a fact. Well, they didn't know it existed.
They didn't.
That's my point. So to them, in their perspective, they discovered new land because they didn't know it existed. It's like saying maybe there is an ice wall and there's no Antarctica, and somebody goes across and goes to a continent. There's a bunch of people there going, dude, who are you? Like, man, I just discovered this new island over here. Did we really discover it? Because it was there and there's people there, but wouldn't we still be discovering it?
You'd be doing it.
That's what I'm saying. So you're still discovering something, but it's a weird, that's a whole weird thing. But I'm gonna end it there and just say this. The last thing I'm gonna say, we're gonna end it with that, is state-driven revisionism is basically, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and this is a real thing. Modern examples include efforts in various nations to minimize or deny specific historical atrocities or the presence of indigenous cultures to bolster nationalistic narratives. So they want to deny something atrocity, like something bad, out of textbooks and stuff because they don't want people to have to remember it. That's just the thing. And it happens all over in a bunch. I'm not saying it happens right here, right now, but I'm saying it happens. It's happened in different countries, and they want to kind of So my point is at that point, what else has been withheld or rewritten or whatever over time? So any of these. So with that basis, when we go back to talking about the Tartarian Empire or any, how do we know it did or did not? I'm just saying because it could have been written out.
Even the Bible.
Atlantis.
A Bible's been written so many times that it's been altered and changed every time.
My favorite is that's a good point. We're not going to get too religious right this second, but we'll leave it with this one too. Is if the Bible's been rewritten, okay, and right now we use the King James Bible, is the one we use pretty much everywhere, is King James Bible. So if that's a thing, right, and people try to dissect word for word what the meaning of the different, what the meaning of everything is in there. Mm-hmm. In the Hebrew Bible, when it's translated, they don't have all the same conjunction words and stuff we do. So my point is those are just kind of like added. So when we read it and it says of or the or a and it says it in a different way, how do we know it was actually even said that way in the original? And so now people hang on some of those words, but what if it wasn't even in the original? So now they think it means one thing when it should mean another thing. It's very confusing sometimes for people, that really want to know and are really open-minded about learning things when we're reading a book that was written by King James, transcribed in whatever he wanted to write, and that's the one we use. So sometimes it's a little confusing.
I agree 100%.
And I'm not saying it's not perfect, and it is perfect or is not perfect. Nobody knows. I'm just saying that's just something that's a little crazy to me.
Agree.
All right.
So, on that note, are we going to talk about these beers?
Yeah.
On that note. All right.
So let's go to the first one. Let's go to the cheesecake. Let's go to the cheesecake.
All right, I'll start out
on
the
cheesecake.
Now, I'll start on that. So that was that Rar and Tapping Animals collab, right? So
yes.
With the guava, pastry cream, vanilla ice cream, and cheesecake. Thick as hell. Banger. I'm sure you guys see on the camera. It was literally like drinking cheesecake milk.
It was floating.
It was definitely floaters in it.
I thought somebody put floaters in my drink.
It was a banger. I'm gonna walk out with a solid 8 on that.
Solid 8.
Solid 8 on our trust scale.
The trust factor. Trust factor for me for that one. I'm gonna give that one. I mean, it was thick.
It was yummy.
It was thick. It was so thick. I want. Heck with it. I'm just gonna do it because my gut tells me to do it. I'm giving it a 9.
My man.
Going 9. Straight up 9.
Actually, to be honest, guys, you didn't see it, but he actually did finish that before me, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think this is the first, since we've been doing this, the first one I had finished before.
Actually, it literally was the first one.
I'm giving them a 9.
That's your highest rating.
It is.
That's your solid
9.
All right. Well, on that note, why don't you give me your first on this one?
All right. So Life is a highway, and this is the expressway.
This is from the Trillium, and I actually really like Trillium. Trillium's actually really big on their IPAs, and I know you're not an IPA guy.
I am not an IPA guy.
These guys put out banger IPAs consistently.
Just because I'm not an IPA guy doesn't mean you aren't an IPA guy, and you guys can like what you want. But I'm telling you, this is an expressway to hell for me. So I'm gonna give this one
high five and Lucifer on the way, right?
Yeah, here's the deal on this one. I do not like the taste, but it is smooth. It doesn't have a bad aftertaste for me. So because it's smooth, doesn't have a bad aftertaste. I don't like the taste that much. I'll give it a 5 because it is smooth and it doesn't have that aftertaste. So I'll give it a 5.
All right, I like where you're going on that. To me, pungent as usual. I like these in here. I'm about a 6.5 on this one. I'm throwing a halfer in there, but I'm about a 6.5. A
halfer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I almost bit my lip on that one. I talked to blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I'm about a 6.5 on that. It was really good. So,
all right. So when we talk about historical alterations,
mm-hmm.
okay, so forget about all the hypotheses and the Tartarian Empire and the all these different things. Can you at least agree saying that at some point in time, people in power are rewriting our history, and what we know about the past? What percentage of the past do you think is true? Percentage of the past that you think is true. How about that? Can we at least agree? At some point in time, would you say somebody in power has definitely at some point in time trying to change or alter or change history to favor themselves or whatever, or for a malicious intent? Has history been changed at some point in time, shape, or form? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so I agree. So we both agree that history at some point in time has been altered or changed in some way, shape, or form. It could be minute, it could be huge. So out of that, how much of our history do you think is true? Meaning 100% of it is true or 0% of it is true? What percentage do you think is true on what we were taught and what we know right now about our history? How much of it is true?
That's a solid question. I'm going to say, because even for things that are changing around it, what I would believe, because you always got to think that more of it would have to be true than less, because for what the people believe in.
It's hard to change the masses.
Okay, so if I was to go, I'm probably between 75 and 80% is true.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 20 to 25% is falsified or changed.
Falsified or changed.
Yes.
Or altered slightly.
In some way.
Altered
fabricated.
Slightly.
A fabricated
story. Yeah, I get you. I'm actually very similar. I would say you're 75 to 80.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of like a 70 to 75. So we're close. I would say about 70% of what we're taught is truth. But the problem with that, and this is why it's tough, is because the people that teach us were taught something. So it's hard to know, because maybe they were taught wrong, but they believed in it so much that now we believe in them to believe in it too.
Correct.
So it's like this really tricky. So how far does that rabbit hole go? That's the problem.
No,
so
I
for
agree.
me, I'm about a 70, but it could be worse.
What I'm saying is because the masses would have to believe, because
yeah.
It's written, you see, our stuff has changed. You know what I'm saying? So nowadays there's so much video footage to everything that you can see everything. Do you know what I mean? So nowadays it's hard to alter, change, or lie 100%. Or fabricate anything.
Now, yeah, but back in the day,
yeah. So the masses seeing in there, so you believe what you were told.
Correct. Yes. So. Everybody thought the world was flat till it wasn't.
Yeah, and we definitely landed on the moon in '69.
And with that said, that's our episode today, folks.
And once again, I'm Robert.
And I'm David.
And this has been a wonderful evening, but thank you for watching. If you stayed to the end, this is Trust No One, Drink Everything.
Have a good night.
I'm doing it, guys. I'm doing it.
I'm doing it. Subscribe. It's right here. Or you can watch our next video. It's right there. Do it.
Do it.